Hello class, this is your instructor for EDCI 320, 520, and you're asked to do service learning in the classroom. What I thought I would do is just quickly go over verbally the things that you're expected to do. There's a couple of things I want to tell you not to do. One is you don't go into any school due to COVID reasons. Also, I don't expect you to purchase any materials for teachers. If they want you to purchase something, they need to give you the money. So, with that said, looking at the different file tabs here on Blackboard, just kind of want to go over some things here. First thing, of course, you got to do is email me that you've accessed this so that I'll have verification. We got to do this attendance verification every semester now. The second thing is something called course purpose and overview. The syllabus tells you everything, but sometimes we all like things kind of short and to the point. So I thought I would basically write you a letter, and in the letter it actually tells you exactly the things you've got to do for this class. You've got to do 9 things. One of them is required, which is a citizen science project. The other 8 things are a variety of things, such as bring some simple materials to a classroom. You go into the main office, you don't go in the classroom. Some other things, maybe help a teacher write a small grant proposal, which I'm here to help you do that. If you've never ever even thought about writing a grant proposal, I can help you. Anyway, there's 8 things identified. You don't necessarily have to do all 8. You can double up on these. And if you look at the syllabus, it sort of explains the task and the possibility of doubling up on all of them except for, I believe it's number 5, which is the citizen science. So I'm not going to call the file up. I'll ask you to read that. This is the purpose and overview, a little letter I wrote to you. While we're at it, I did provide one resource that might be of value to the teacher, which would be national contests that teachers could apply for. You might could actually help a teacher do one of these. Some of them are awards for a teacher. Have an introductory letter that you can use if you don't have a connection to a school. Of course, have a file for netiquette. We want to try to be nice to each other. There is your syllabus here, right here, and it basically breaks down what the course is about and also what the point value are to do these different tasks. So you want to check that out. We're not going to have a final exam in here, but I do have right in the middle of the exam week when everything is due. I thought that would be fair, would be to have you turn it in right when perhaps you would be taking a final exam. I believe I have everything is due by midnight. Scrolling on down here, you have your assignment and submission center. I think it's a little less confusing if I just go ahead and put everything under one file. Right here are the assignments with the directions and the requirements. It basically goes over each of the 9 items and what they're about and what you have to submit for documentation. Now, you may have a question about, well, can I do this with another student? And I would say, yeah, you can do it as a pair. I don't want to go past a pair. But if 2 of you want to do one of these tasks, you have to do 2 tasks. So if you did 9 tasks with someone, that means I would want 18 submitted. Here's where you submit the task for the points. And I gave them all the same titles: service task 1 through 4 or 6 through 9. Submission. I put a little letter here just so that I can, it helped me repeat this over and over and over. So they're all the same. Let me call this up real quick. we have the objective, develop a project for the K through 12 classroom. I need to edit that already, I see, because it's not environmental. You're doing a multiple different things. Here's the directions, which you have up here already. We have the directions. Where was that? But I went ahead and put it with each submission. Right here, you have the directions, but also I put the directions here as well, so it's redundant. But this goes over each of the tasks, and then here is the portal where you submit your documentation for what you did for that. And I ask you to put a title on the file so I'll know which ones you did. I think that'll be. It says identify which task you are submitting in the file name, please. So try to remember to do that. And here's one that stands by itself, which is something called citizen science, which is you finding some way to assist a scientist do science. It could be a university person or it could be on the internet. There are a plethora of things you can do to help scientists out there that you can check out. I have a way for you to get a little extra credit if you choose to do that. Basically, you practice all some different activities, which can relate to one of these service tasks up here if you practice at home. And basically, I'll give you credit for practicing. If you create a YouTube video that teaches how to do a particular activity, you really should practice it. You should always practice these things. That's kind of a teaching science 101 because sometimes things don't always work the way you anticipate. There are some things in here about safety. Some things you do have to run by me if you're going to try the task. So I tried to really keep it as simple as possible. I guess I could go to the assignments and kind of give you an idea of what they are about. Let me call this up real quick. All right. So the directions are you can do two of the same ones with the exception of number 5, which is citizen science. Everyone has to do that one. There needs to be a total of 9 service tasks completed. You can work together as a pair, but, and I have that in caps, you have to do twice as many. So if you are writing a grant proposal, which is number 8, with another student, you're expected to write 2 grant proposals. Explaining it another way is that the 2 of you will need to do 18 different service tasks. So here are some different things that you can do. Delivering science-related supplies to a school, and I'll put in caps, do not spend money. Don't go to the classroom. Bring it to the main office with the teacher's name on there if the teacher agrees for you to do this sort of thing. And this is just a basic list that I have. Some of these things do cost money, but there's a lot of things that don't. For example, cups, straws, plastic forks, plastic spoons. That's the kind of stuff you can get at Chick-fil-A or Wendy's or whatever your favorite fast food place is. But I just kind of gave you a generic list of things that elementary teachers do to teach science. What is your documentation? Take a photo of the things you've collected for a teacher. Have the teacher sign off that you delivered these items on a piece of paper. You can use the form below, and I'll give you a little form where they just put their signature and the date that verifies the items have been delivered to the school. Just some other possibilities. Do a Zoom meeting with a classroom to do a science-related demonstration based on a teacher's request. I need to make sure it's safe, so you got to tell me what you're going to do before you do it. I do have some examples here. I think I've got 5 different examples. You know, the old Mentos and various brands of cola is a popular one you could do as a demonstration. And I have to have documentation that you actually did it. Then there's Zoom mentoring, tutoring a student in science, develop a 1 hour YouTube science lesson with a little bit of a short evaluation. Doing the citizen science activity is described right there, and that's a mandatory choice. Then you may have some short-ended projects that the teacher wants you to do, which is fine. I put out some possibilities. I do have a list of teacher awards that could be given to them, but if you need something else like science conferences that are upcoming, I have that information that you could add to. So number 6, number 7, remotely coordinating an environmental project like recycling. I mean, there's things you could have students do like write letters and things like that are described there. Assist a teacher to write a small grant proposal, and then there's some information on that for you, number 8. And then number 9 is just kind of an open-ended type thing. I mean, I tried to think of everything that a teacher might need, but they may need something that I didn't anticipate. So I'm open to something different from those. It wouldn't be 8, it'd be 7 other things, because you got to do the citizen science one. Anyway, that's a real quick overview of all the different tasks. I do have something in the letter that I wrote you at the beginning of the course. I'm going to ask that the graduate students help any of you. If you don't have a teacher, some of them I think do have connections to teachers out there. I have my connection, and that's my wife, and I gave you her email. Now, she's not going to want to work with all of you, but she might find you a teacher as well as the graduate students. So, and I would think that she could actually find enough for 2 or 3 of you to do. She's an 8th grade science teacher, so she could use any kind of assistance, I'm sure. And I have information on her email there in that, and that's the letter up at the top of the blackboard right here where it says course purpose and overview. That's all I have to really say. I mean, I think it's pretty simple what you have to do. Now, this is what's called an asynchronous course, which means we don't meet formally. Don't think that doesn't mean I'm willing to Zoom. I mean, I'll Zoom with any of you that need more direction on this. Just let me know. Well, if you want to meet for a Zoom meeting, so I can go back over these things. And I can assist you with many of these things, like writing a grant proposal, for example. That's one little thing I've done through the years several times. I don't want you to think that I'm just giving you all this stuff. You do it. You've got to, if you're confused or you don't have a clue as to what you're supposed to do, we can set up a Zoom anytime. I mean, like the first week would be great. Just let me know. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye.